Okay, now we've finished our abstract Kimmy Cantrell inspired drawings, and they are portraits, but remember they can get a little crazy. We started with pencil, then we switched to black marker. Now it's time to possibly add some color. And we're going to do that with watercolor, so we're actually going to paint. Now, watercolors are the kind of paints that you've been using probably since you were teeny tiny, and the important thing with watercolors is that you activate them with water. So the water is crucial. It can lighten a color, darken a color, but we have to activate them. So if you're in one of the classes that comes right after lunch, you will have to activate them because they will be dry. So we'll set up our tables like this. Paper towel, water, brushes. The paper towel is important either under the water or next to the water. And we use that to wipe off the extra water onto our brush. Some of your brushes will be flat, some of your brushes are pointy. I like both, but it depends on what you like. So first things first, we get the water onto the paints. I'm just dripping them. It's very rare that I actually have so much water that it's drippy, but for this, you have to have the water drip onto the paint in order to make it activate so that you can actually use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a pointed brush for this step, making sure it's clean. You never know who used it before. Watch this, I'm gonna sharpen my brush. I pull it back. If you pull your brush back towards you, you'll get a really nice point. So now I'm gonna go, let's go with my favorite color, green. As I start to just hold my brush like a pencil, it should feel really comfortable. It shouldn't hurt, shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Just hold it like a pencil. You can see maybe even on my hand that I'm not touching the metal part of the brush, just putting my hand in the wooden part. So I feel like I have control. Now I outline first and then I start to paint. Now you just saw me get a little bit of extra paint on my brush. If it gets to the point where it's really watery, then the color will be lighter. Now you can also see how it's kind of puddling up there a little bit. If I accidentally get water outside the shape, the paint will go there. It's like the lines don't mean anything to the paint. The paint is going to follow the water. So control the water and you control your paint, which is also why I'm skipping over to a different section. So I did the green section in the corner, and then I pulled out that kind of blue, purple color. Look at that, look how much lighter it is. Do you know why? I did not go back and get more paint. It's just the water with whatever paint is left. If I want it to be darker, then I go back and get more. Now, I remember doing this and I think this was a bad decision. I painted the yellow right next to where that purple is still wet. There's a chance that I'm going to end up getting yellow into my purple or purple into my yellow. I should have skipped a space like I'm doing right now. I'm going down to the bottom part. So when you're painting with watercolor, the key is to control that water. Just kind of skip around. Paint a little over here, paint a little over there, paint a little over here, a little bit over there. And that will allow each space to dry so that when you come back to it, you won't have to worry about the paint moving into spaces that you don't want it. It happens to me more. The more I'm looking at this, like look at the red lips. You can see that some of the red is getting into another space. You know, it is what it is. I'm just trying. Remember too that Kimmy Cantrell, who's the artist that makes the portraits out of clay, he doesn't necessarily follow the rules of like realistic color. So you can put colors that maybe are not typical colors wherever you want them to be. You can paint these faces however you want. Again, if you want to control it, less water, more water, it will be lighter. This shade of pink right in here is actually just red plus water, but it's much, much lighter. Okay, I think you're gonna do great, everybody. So control the water, control your paint. Have fun.